Okay, so thank you very much everyone for joining today. I am Jo and I have been teaching at UWCD since January this year, and I teach English A and English B, so I'll be able to answer your questions about both, I hope. And I also have Ferdy, Eduardo and Kenny in the call, and they are second year students doing English B, and they will be fantastic at answering your questions too. And then finally we have Maud. Maud, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. So I'm Maud. I also teach English A and English B, but currently DP2, English A and DP1B, and I also teach TOK.
Thank you. Right, so there will be time for questions at the end, so it might be easiest if you save them for then. The most important thing to tell you is that the difference between English A and English B is quite a big difference. So if you are a native English speaker, then you will be doing English A, and you will have to do quite a lot of literary texts. If you're doing English A literature, then you'll be doing as many as 13 literary texts. However, for English B, you only need to study 2. In English A, you analyse the meaning of words and look at motifs and symbols within novels and poetry, etc. And then in English B, we focus more on the connection between novels and everyday events that we come across. And then finally, in English A, you'll be tested on your language analysis, and in English B, you are tested on the 4 traditional skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Having said this though, English B is just as difficult as English A. One is not better than the other, and people have different reasons for studying them. So, for example, if the novel that we're studying is Cinderella, we do not study Cinderella. The English A student might talk about Cinderella's blue dress and what it symbolises, and they'll be analysing the meaning of the words once upon a time. But the English B student will be looking at how Cinderella's life has been very difficult, how she's experienced many social issues, and then you would go on to talk about the social issues, for example, abandonment in wider society. So I'm going to hand over to my second years now, and I want them to tell you why they chose English B and not English A. So we'll start with Ferdy.
Yes, hello everyone, I'm Ferdy and I'm from Norway, and I chose English B mainly because of the pace in the subjects, that since I'm not a... Excuse me, 1 second. Sorry for that. Yeah, mainly because of the pace, and I like literature, but I will learn the skills with my self-taught class, and then I could spend my time on English B learning the more useful skills I will actually use here in Dilijan, since I was not that comfortable in the beginning.
Great, thank you very much. Eduardo, what about you?
Yeah, hello, I'm Eduardo from Bolivia, and something similar to Ferdinand. Like when I first arrived, I was not like 100% comfortable with my English, and I'm still not, so I'm still learning the language, which is cool. So yeah, English B, I mean, I learned a lot in my first year, so I'm really glad I made that choice. Yeah.
And then finally, Kenny.
Okay, hello guys, I am Kenny and I'm from Somaliland. Sorry, there are a lot of other calls in my room, so
It's okay, we can hear you.
So one of the reasons that I've chosen English B is because I'm more focused on sciences. So if you're more focused on sciences and you don't want to go into the literary analysis and reading like a lot of books and stuff, then you can just go for English B. Not because it is necessarily easier, but it's because you will have like more time on other things. You will spend more time on like reading books, not on like on the side of analysis, but just on like reading and talking about themes. And actually, like that's one of the reasons that I've chosen English B. Yeah.
Fantastic. And all Ferdy, Eduardo, and Kenny all speak English really, really fantastically, and have. I think they could have done English A, but they made the choice to do English B for very valid reasons. So these are things you should do. English B if you like these things. If you like discussing different cultures, we always make links between our home countries and what we're discussing in class. If you're interested in what's going on in the world, English B is almost like social studies. So it's really interesting that way. You will improve your written and spoken accuracy in English. We do traditional style reading texts and listening texts. But we try and do it in a fun way. And at least in my classes, but I am guessing it's the same for Maud, there's lots of group work. So please be prepared to cooperate, be a team player, help your classmates. If you know something that they don't know, support them as best as you can. Okay, Maud, would you like to speak about the exams for English B?
I would love to. So this pie chart is pretty self-explanatory. And as you can see, there's a really equal balance between all the different skills. So the green quadrant is listening, then yellow is reading, red is writing, and blue is an individual oral exam. So that's speaking.
What do you have to do for the speaking exam?
I think you're better at explaining this one, Joe.
Okay. So we actually, if you do higher level, we study 2 novels in English B. This year we're doing 1,000 Splendid Suns and Never Let Me Go. And then you will have an extract of either one of those novels you can choose, and you just need to speak about it for 15 minutes and you'll be asked questions. For the writing paper, you have to write either a film review, a book review, a letter. We practice writing all of these different things. And you have to write about 500 words, which is achievable, I think. And then reading and listening, they're the kinds of things that you might be used to doing in English in your previous schools. So they're just simple question answer type things. Right, so what do we do in class? I will leave this to my second years to explain.
Do you want to start, Remy?
So hi, I'm Remy. I'm from France, and so mainly what we do in class. So we work a lot in works we collaborate a lot with our peers. Also, we have a lot of discussion. I think English B we practice I think the main point of English B is doing discussion about the book that we read, about many themes about around the world. So you have in English B you will have different themes, and so yeah, that's mainly discussion, group works, and we also do some written tasks. We have some assignments to practice our writing skills. So yeah, I think I would say group works, discussion, and then written tasks.
Yeah, I agree with Remy, and I also think it's fair to point out that this is not a grammar class, but we actually have the discussion, so it has a certain level as well. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up, Ferdy. As Ferdy said, in English we do some language rules in the class, but that's not the focus. It really is more about talking about these bigger themes and events. However, if you want to do more work on your grammar, or if you need more support in English, we do have English support classes. Maud, would you like to speak about those?
Yes. So I'm not entirely sure who is going to do that this year, but we have some English support classes for those who need a little bit extra support. And in those classes, basically, well, a lot of it is up to you, to be honest. So if you're struggling with a particular thing in class, or a certain, word that you've come across that you don't understand, a grammar structure that you keep bumping into, I don't know, maybe something you've talked about and you don't really understand what it means, things like that, then we can discuss those things, and also maybe covering some skills like essay writing or how to structure a sentence, and covering some vocabulary. So really just extra support in any way that you might need. And actually, this year, we're also going to invite second years who are very comfortable with English to help first years with both essay writing and language skills. So that might be really useful too.
That was a bit of free advertising to DP2 then. Please help us, DP2 students. Okay, so we've also spoken a little bit about the themes that you'll cover. Remy spoke about that. So there are 5 themes on English B. They're all very big things. So we have sharing the planet, which is as much about looking at how we share our resources in the world and poverty as it is about the environment. Human ingenuity is what we're doing at the moment, and this is all about how humans and technology interact. So we're looking at human cloning at the moment. Social organization, we connect this to 1,000 Splendid Suns and how women are treated in society, how education is run in different countries. Identities is going to be the first module that DP1 work on. So that, I think that's self-explanatory. And then finally, experiences. I've decided to connect this to travel this year. So we're going to look at travel writing and how travel changes you as a person. So we have 5 pictures here, and they're all based on the different themes. So does anyone want to have a guess what this one could be? Human ingenuity, social organization, identities, experience.
I think it's human ingenuity, like, yeah, because learning that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic, that was correct. This is an interesting one. So you might not be able to read what it says. It says misrepresented at the top, and this is a magazine cover. So identities, experiences, social organization, sharing the planet. Why don't we talk about what's going on in this picture? Why has it been taken? So we have 2 ladies who we don't know which country they're from, but they are both of Asian origin, and they're holding a sign that says, "We are not related." Why would they be holding a sign that says we are not related?
I think because of sometimes people confuse Asians, like, and they say, like, they cannot say which country they are from. And I think it's not correct if you say, like, Chinese person that are you from Japan or like think, and you misunderstand this.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what's going on there. And in the red text, it says we are not a stereotype. So again, this idea that not everyone that has the same hair color or the same eye color, they are not all the same. Let's have a go at this one. So that one, I think, was most close. The one before was most closely linked to identities. And this time we have a map of the world, and in different countries, there is a kind of stereotype of that country. So the whole of South America is covered in coffee, apart from this big football on Brazil.
Yeah, I think, can I continue? Like, yeah, so I think this is planet sharing, because like there are many stereotypes actually. Like, so that in Russia, like drink, like then there Australia, there are kangaroos and like sheep, and like I think this picture just represents that topic, and also like in England, like and like. So Saudi Arabia is oil and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that's just human sharing, planet sharing.
Sharing the planet. Thank you very much. And I think if we were going to talk about this in class, then I would ask some of you to say if you agree with the representation of your country. So I'm actually from Wales, but England is in the same place. And I really don't understand why an entire car represents us. Okay, so we have this one here. In case you can't read the text, it's in white, so it's a bit difficult. It says, 1 garbage truck of clothing is landfilled or incinerated every second. So how do you feel about this picture, looking at it?
Sad.
Why?
Because wait a second. Close the door because because I think what is written is like very correct, and that people do not understand how much waste they give to our planet and how much worse the situation gets every year. And I think actually I don't remember the topics like which one this can be represented. Like it's just sad.
Second years, what topic do you think it's supposed to represent? Human ingenuity, sharing the planet, social organization. Do you think it can overlap?
I think sharing the planet, maybe.
Yes, because
We agree on that. We agree. Yeah.
Yeah, we could think of better things to do with that waste. Depending on the context that that picture was taken in, we could also link it to social organization and how we deal with our consumer society. And then finally, we have this one. So the text says, new campaign, doll yourself up. And there's lots of pictures of girls with blonde hair, makeup, shoes, Barbie appears as well. So how do you feel about this picture? Let's ask a girl. What do you think about Maud? Do you think this represents femininity?
I think I don't really identify with a lot of these things. So, I mean, obviously, women or girls are being represented here, and a lot of things that might be considered very feminine, but they're not really things like I personally don't wear heels. I might have one pair, and I don't like pink very much either. So maybe it says something about my identity as a woman, but not necessarily an identity that I would identify with.
Thank you very much. So we could possibly link this picture to either identities or experiences. What does it feel like to be a woman, and does this truly represent you? So if this is the kind of activity that we do in class, there's lots of discussion. We talk about novels, we talk about texts, we talk about pictures and how they relate to us. So we've done a lot of speaking, but first years, I'm really interested to know if you have any questions, and you can ask myself or Maud or any of the second years.
Well, I have a question. So you said like all this is in the first year of the DP1 program, yeah, English B program. What about the second year? Will it be the same, or like I don't know, like will it be the same exams, same papers, everything the same, but just another books or another topics? How will it be like in the second?
That is the whole course. So we study the 5 topics and 2 novels, and then we have some time to revise for exams, but that takes the whole 2 years, and the activities on the 2 years are pretty much the same.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
Can I ask a question? How many classes do we have weekly?
Okay, Mao, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so we only have higher level classes for English B, and you always have 3 higher level classes a week. And for
Yeah, and they last 80 minutes,
yes,
yeah?
80 minutes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, and if you would have English A standard level, it would be 2 a week, and for higher level 3 a week. So the higher levels are always 3, and because B is a higher level by default, it's 3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
So a standard level English A is also 80 minutes, or
All classes are 80 minutes long here.
okay.
Except for the second period is always, what is it, 40 minutes? And that's usually used for mentor time, for example, on Tuesday and Thursday, and also for TOK. That's not for you quite yet, but that's also in one of the shorter slots. And all the other lessons are always 80 minutes. And then it just depends on whether you're taking standard level or higher level for how many lessons of 80 minutes you have per week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Mm-hmm.
So my second years are going to have to go very soon, but do you have any questions for the second years? Okay, then I think second years you are free to go, but first,
Just a question to second years.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Are you taking your native language with self-taught or something like that?
Yeah, in my case, we have Spanish here. It's not self-taught because there are many Spanish speakers, so we have like a class with a teacher. Yeah.
Both me and Remy take self-taught.
How do you do self-taught? How is it different to if you were doing Spanish A like Eduardo in school?
I think the difference is that
they have a teacher, and like we do have a teacher, but he's not talking to us in our language. And but basically the syllabus, I think it's the same. We just have like some arrangements because we don't have like the teacher with us. But I think the syllabus is the same. We do like area of exploration, all these kind of things that we do in like language A literature, just like the teacher that we don't have.
Yeah.
Any more questions for second years?
I have a question for the second years. Would you say that English B is similar to how you were learning English in your home country?
For me, yes, it's quite similar. Very much based on group discussion and oral practice, and yeah, how to use English in a daily life more than actually analysis of literature.
For me, not really. I think back home, like they focus more on grammar, so it was not really similar actually. Yeah.
And also for me, I think it was more of an analysis and more of a detailed reading. So I think it's a bit different, but I mean this class was amazing, and because I mean at least like you focus your you shift your focus, and you get to explore more things than what you were doing back home. So I think it was amazing. And one, before we leave, I just want to say to the first years that I mean we're here for you. Like if you need any help, second years are here for you. If you need any guide on what to do, on how to do, then we're always available. You can come to us. You can always approach us and ask us any question that you have, basically. And these guys are lovely.
Yeah.
They'll be willing to answer any question, I'm sure.
Yeah. Feel free to approach us and join English B, guys. It's an amazing subject.
They're the best, my second years. They're all fantastic. Okay, so they have to go now, I think. because you've got 2 minutes until your next class.
Yeah.
So there isn't any more presentation, but if I see that some people have just joined the call, so you're really, really welcome to stay and ask questions. And if you're completely new, then we can explain some of what we've already spoken about.
Or you can watch the recording later as well. That's also
the recording as well later. That's a better idea. Okay, so any more questions for myself and Maud? And Sophie's just joined us as well. Hello, Sophie.
Are there any particular concerns anybody has about either English B or language and literature? Maybe you could answer or respond to any of those.
Myself and Maud and Sophie all teach English A, language and literature. So we're not trying to push you to do English B. We don't mind which one, but we're here to answer your questions about both.
And it would also be a good idea to listen or to visit the session on language and literature, and if you can't, then to listen to the recording. Do you happen to know when it is, Joe?
I'm afraid I don't.
No, I don't either.
I do.
Oh, great, Sophie.
A second.
Sophie to the rescue.
Yep, it is later on. It's just after this one.
Okay.
That's 3.
Yeah, so it'd be a really good idea to visit that one too, because that allows you to really see what the difference is between the two courses. And maybe once you've seen both presentations, you have a better sense of what would suit you, and otherwise you might have more questions to ask once you've seen both presentations.
Could I just, sorry, oh yes, I'm still unmuted. Have you brought up the this sort of misconception that
we haven't. Well, I don't think. Well, I'm not sure which misconception you're referring to, because there's another misconception that I was going to refer to now that we haven't covered yet, which is maybe the one you're referring to of universities requiring English language and literature. And I've talked to a few of you about this already in passing, and it's just important to realize that it's not a requirement. You can go to universities with English B, also universities in the United States. Do you want to add anything, Sophie?
But like, don't you need TOEFL, like if you take English B?
No, TOEFL you need if you are not an American citizen, but that has nothing to do with the course that you take for the IB. It's not necessarily TOEFL. There is another test, the name I can't remember, which the UK requires. Yeah, exactly. But that is not linked to the course. The English A will not replace the language test. And it is a little bit, perhaps a little bit of IB philosophy. The idea is that in the language A courses, you strengthen and develop your first language and approach it from a different perspective, perhaps, than previously. And English B is the one that helps you improve the second language. So universities accept that, and that's why they don't make that requirement.
Okay, thank you.
And one more thing also that's very useful for everyone, I think, is to talk to second years from your country. And you might have had a different whole experience. So take that into account, that someone might have covered more English than you, or I don't know, has some different experience with literary analysis or anything like that. But it would be really useful to talk to those second years and ask them what they chose and why and how they're experiencing it, because that might be really useful information, because those might be people that you can more easily compare yourself to.
At the beginning of my classes, I always ask people what they've done in English before and what their experience has been like. And I explain because I'm from the UK, I teach in a very British way, and we try and consolidate all of our different ideas about how our lessons should work to make it something that is accessible and helpful for everybody. Okay then, so thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you take on board what we've said about talking to your second years about this subject. We're really happy to answer any questions anytime about this. If something comes to you later, then please email me or Maud or Sophie, and we'll all be able to help you.
Yeah. Or just I don't know, talk to us when you see us anywhere, like I did the other evening with some students in the Mountainside reception. So feel free to do that anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you for listening.